A thread by Carlos Osuita. In an attempt to smear President Trump and prop up the carcass of Joe Biden, the Associated Press writes one of the best pro-Trump op-eds of all time. From apnews.com, Biden eyes major foreign policy shifts if he wins. Quote, should former Vice President Joe Biden win the White House in November, America will likely be in for a foreign policy about face as Biden reverses, dismantles, or severely curtails many of President Donald Trump's most significant and boldest actions, from the Middle East to Asia, Latin America to Africa, and particularly Europe. And on issues including trade, terrorism, arms control, and immigration, the presumptive Democratic nominee and his advisors have vowed to unleash a tsunami of change in how the U.S. handles itself in the international arena. Hurrah! Open borders, kissing China's butt, letting Putin run wild, and making the United States the world's lackey again. The rest of the op-ed is very funny. Quote, Biden told reporters Tuesday in Delaware that he knows how to get things done internationally. I understand the national security and intelligence issues, he said. That's what I've done my whole life. Trump has no notion of it. None. Biden's campaign also has assembled an experienced team of foreign policy advisors. Jake Sullivan served as Deputy Assistant to President Barack Obama and Policy Planning Director at the State Department. Nicholas Burns had high-level foreign policy positions under Presidents George W. Bush and Bill Clinton. Tony Blinken was Deputy Secretary of State and Deputy National Security Advisor to Obama. Susan Rice, National Security Advisor and UN Ambassador under Obama, is a finalist for Vice President. If she isn't selected, she could become a key advisor if Biden wins. Back to Carlos. Experienced, all right. Experienced in total failure. Susan Rice has never been right about anything. She covered up how Obama's lies and gutlessness cost American lives in Benghazi. Most people don't know this, but because we were not allowed to effectively interrogate captured Islamist terrorists, they were simply killed. Under Obama, we stopped gathering actionable intelligence. And from the Inspector General, Department of Defense, assessment of DoD, U.S. CENTCOM, and coalition plans, efforts to train, advise, and assist the Iraqi army to defeat the Islamic State of Iraq and the Levant, page 23, September 30th, 2015. A senior coalition leader reported that detailed, time-consuming requests for tactical and operational information from the highest levels of the U.S. chain of command, levels of government, were putting significant pressure on the CJFLCC-I staff, impeding their ability to provide timely support to the BPC and A&A mission. Got that? The Pentagon and Obama and Valerie Jarrett demanded approval of tactics. That's called micromanagement. The Associated Press is pushing for a return to total failure and incompetence. James Mattis had to be fired because he was a micromanager. Trump knows his limitations. He surrounds himself with people who have multiple viewpoints, and he listens to them all. Fauci is the alarmist. Birx is the realist. Both are valuable. Fauci is allowed to publicly disagree with Trump because he needs total freedom. As Fauci says over and over, he and Trump are on the same page. He hasn't resigned. He knows Trump is doing a good job, but he must be allowed to air his views without fear of retaliation. Trump must hear all sides. Don't worry. Fauci is vital to the success of the fight. Trump is anything but thin-skinned. The reason Trump will win is that he's a brilliant psychologist and he can forecast end results. I was horrified when the GOP lost the House in 2018. Now I understand that this was deliberate on Trump's part. He had to get rid of the Republicans who would forever thwart him, and he had to get the most radical Democrats possible to take over. Biden has adopted the Squad platform, and he's promising to return to the Obama incompetence and failure. I can't even count the politically suicidal errors the Democrats have made since 2018. Embracing lawlessness in democratic cities may be the most suicidal. Here is a perfect illustration of the Democrat strategy. I have never seen anybody hold a bottle rocket in front of his face and not let go. No eye protection equals no eyes. Biden promises to bring back the flops and failures of the Bush and Obama eras. This is exactly what Trump wanted him to do. I hope you understand the breathtaking genius of what Trump has done. He changed the election from a referendum on himself to a referendum on his predecessor, Obama. Never happened before. Now, Biden has to defend his own platform. Trump no longer has to defend himself. He can say, my record stands for itself. Biden needs to explain why we must again experience what we experienced from 2009 to 2017. His position is untenable. We rejected Hillary because she promised to extend and intensify Obama's policies. Biden is now in the exact same position. But we saw what life can be like when we're out from under the Bushes and Clintons. It was momentarily taken from us, but Nancy Pelosi has helpfully showed us that we can't allow the Democrats to have any power. Chief Justice John Roberts has done the same. All of Hollywood and now all of sports have done the same. You will submit. We're Americans. We submit to no man or woman or anything in between. Trump landslide 2020.